Okay, Jay, we are live. Huh. I don't know. To me, this week started out slow, in my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Especially both shows, but especially Y&R in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, and I kind of talked about this on the Wednesday live that I did. That the first 2 days of sweeps, which was January 30th and 31st. It kicked off really good with YNR because of the fact that the whole showdown with Jordan and Ian, and then we found out Ian was still alive, and we haven't seen him since. Hey Joyce, welcome in. We haven't seen them since. So I don't know what they're doing with YNR. It started out strong and then it just fell flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hey you guys, happy Valentine's Day. I'm glad you got the notification. I know you guys, I told you all that I was going to go live this afternoon earlier in the day. Happy V-Day to you guys. Why do they keep fooling us with these dreams? Listen, we're going to talk about the dream scenarios, right, Jay?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I was like, why are we doing this? I mean, unless they're trying to give us a prelude to something. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, with Adam and all of them, with Chelsea, he kicked Sally to the curb, and we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. We're kind of doing an abbreviated week. It's been really busy around here for me this week, so hopefully next week I'll get back to my regular recaps because I know you guys have been asking about them. And we got a little over a week away from Beyond the Gates. So we're going to have to actually get that ramped up too. I'm excited about that show as well. And yeah, everybody put some hearts in the chat for V-Day. Hopefully you having a good Valentine's Day, a good Galentine's Day, or anybody, I know there's a lot of kiddie parties going on and stuff like that. So with your kids, your loved ones, significant others, mom, dad, whatever, happy love day. So yeah.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to all the soapies checking in. Belinda Hill, hi. Happy
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day. Melissa Spencer's in here. Cheryl Hines is in here. Happy
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day to everyone.
Yes. All right. And I guess Young and the Restless, which we'll go ahead and get started with that one, was trying to do whatever they wanted to consider as Valentine's Day for today, which to me fell flat real quick
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't feeling it. But we still had yesterday's episode because we found out that Miss Audra Charles already know Holden. What is your thoughts about that, Jay?
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the chat. I was like absolutely shocked, and because Bree has been hoping for the demise of Nate and Audra since forever,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I saw that, I was so shocked at seeing it, and I wrote it in the group chat, and she had already known about it, and so she told me that you guys had talked about it because I guess it was in the spoilers, so I hadn't heard those spoilers yet,
Mm-hmm.
so I was shocked. And I know like Bree was thinking that this would be who Audra would get involved with because she thought he was Damian, like we all did at the time, and he's not Damian. But they gave us a nice little twist and put that she has a history with him. Now I really like Nate and Audra, so I don't want to see them break up. I think we're actually starting to see a change with
Mm-hmm.
Audra,
Mm-hmm.
opening herself up a little bit, a little more softer side to her. And I
Mm-hmm.
like this Audra, and I like the pairing of her and Nate. So I hope this doesn't split them up, but it does make for good drama that they've given her a history with this character.
I'm wondering because I don't know. They got a little bit of energy, and obviously she must have had a little short stint with Holden. Plus the fact that he knows that she was involved with Tucker McCall, and obviously there's another part of this backstory with
Mm-hmm.
that because whatever Holden did to bail her out when it comes to Tucker as a new layer. Now, it would be nice if they would bring Trevor St. John back. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not saying that that's the case, so you guys don't misquote me on that. But the fact that they even brought up Trevor's name, I find that highly interesting that we got a little bit more of a backstory between these two. Obviously, they were in a romantic situation, but it also looked like he bailed her out of something, and according to him, Audra owe him big time.
Now I didn't see Thursday, so was that conversation covered on Thursday's episode where they talked
Yes.
and wow,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so yeah, I didn't even know Tucker was involved with all of this. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know why they got I don't know if they got rid of or how it worked out, but I don't know why Trevor St. John was no longer on the show anyway because he was doing fantastic as Tucker.
Well, he
You
left
know.
because he had these big projects coming up. So, I mean, he had announced them all over Instagram that he
Mhm.
was moving into the director's chair of his own, own productions and things like that, which is why he
Okay.
left. So, but that would be nice to throw that extra layer in there. We know that Trevor. We know that Tucker is connected to Devon as well. So that could be an
Mhm.
extra layer between the whole situation. So it could get real messy. Now, according to Damian, yeah, he's saying that they're going to head back to LA. But for whatever reason, I have a big feeling that they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Right, and especially with the scene that happened at Society between Damian and Lily, I like the chemistry between the two, and the way he was looking at her. When she was like, "Look, just next time, watch where you going," because they bumped into each other. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I can see it. I actually clipped that scene and I posted it on several of the social medias. But what do you think about the real Damien and Lily?
Um, well, as we talked about when we talked about the eventual arrival of Damien before we even knew um, who he was,
Right.
we talked about would this be the interest for Lily because Lily has been out here basically in the cold, no love interest. She was without a job for a while, and we were just trying to figure out what are they going to do with Lily. Like she has nothing going on. So we discussed it, and most of us felt like Damien could have been a possibility for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they're doing this, and I've only seen that picture, and like even in that picture, it was like, oh, that's it piqued my interest for sure. And now hearing you describe the bump in, I have to go back and watch that. But I'm liking it. I like the potential of this, and I'm guessing they set that up in a way where they still like they don't even know who each other are, right? So she doesn't know that's Damien. I'm
Mm.
guessing, and
Right.
so obviously when she sees him again, she'll probably the next time she sees him, we'll probably see him talking to Nate. And then she figures out who he is, or so it's going to be interesting to see how they set up that whole scenario when she finally realizes who he is.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I know we had talked about it beforehand back in December, and when we knew that they were going to be bringing the Damien character on. But Jermaine Rivers, who actually plays Damien, do you see the
Mhm.
chemistry in that actor with
Oh
Christelle
yeah,
Khalil?
yeah, I definitely can see it, even from just his performance. He's a really charismatic actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean. Like you can just see certain people have a certain thing to them. He definitely has like a flair to him, like a really good presence. So I feel like him and her will have some good back and forth. I think we can actually see like a little bit of a different side of Lily with this potential pairing. So I definitely think he definitely has the charisma and the charm
Mm-hmm.
to carry a pairing with Lily, and I think it'll be something different for her.
Okay. All right. I'm feeling it. I'm looking forward to it. I know somebody in the chat said no. Joyce Chitwood said that no Damien and Lily because he wouldn't even tell people who he is. I mean, I guess that's part of the soapy part of the drama, to kind of have a little bit of mystery. And they also need to find out about this man's company because originally
Mm-hmm.
they thought that he was just skipping around town from job to job to job when he actually owned the companies that he claimed to work for.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot to unpack with this new character, and, who knows, maybe Lily can unpack him. So,
Yeah, there's definitely some secrecy going on here. Whenever somebody's hiding something like that,
hmm
especially a person in his position, a black man owning companies, why would you want to hide that? You would think you want to put that out in the forefront,
yeah,
Um, so I'm wondering if he's gotten his company by shady means, speedy means. I'm not sure. But Joyce, to give you a little bit of pushback on that, can you really be, because somebody brought this to my attention. Keish, actually, let me give Keish her credit. She brought it up in the chat, and I agreed. Can you really judge him from hiding who he really was when Nate and his mother kind of like sought him out under fake means and fake, intentions? Like they had what said they had a job and all of this stuff, and they didn't even know they was talking to Damien. So on both sides, they were kind of lying to each other about different things.
exactly. They were both being disingenuous. So, I mean, Nate was lying about, oh, yeah, I'm so and so coming out to LA for a job, and Damien put his best friend to be his representative. So, they both, I guess, they cancel each other out on, their original intent. So, they pretty much in the same boat. That makes sense.
Somebody named Reed in the chat, and I think Bree may have said this too in our group chat. He said 100% working with Lily's ex-husband. Do you think Kane could be involved with Damien's business in
So,
any way?
there's a lot of speculation around that, Jay, because what is his name? What's Kane's name in real life? I forgot.
Um.
Oh man.
Oh my God, I can't believe I don't
Right, I'm
remember that.
drawing a blank, and I know
'Cause
somebody
I
will
used to
probably.
watch him on Beastmaster when he was younger.
Yeah,
Um.
and I know
Darn.
what is his name, and I know somebody in the chat is gonna put it in the comment section. But
Yeah, help us out with that.
he went to Instagram talking about how he has a new script that Daniel Goddard. There you go. Thanks,
That's it.
Victoria.
Yep. Daniel Goddard.
And he went to Instagram saying, he had this cryptic video, and then he's like, I got a new script or something like that. So a lot that script could be for any show, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were hoping that it had something to do with Y&R. And I mean, possibly, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe that's why you have some people speculating about the situation between Kane and this, that, and the third, because he put that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting. That's really interesting.
yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it. If they decided to bring him back. I mean, what about
Mm-hmm.
you? Would you want Kane back?
Yeah, I think it would bring some different some different interesting stories about. I feel like if they brought him back this time around, I actually don't think he would be coming back to try to get Lily back. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they would do that. So, at least not initially. So, I think it would be on some business stuff
Mm-hmm.
that he would come back. Fans are probably thinking he wants to come back for Lily, but I don't know if they'll actually have that be why he would come back if they actually do bring Kane back. So it'd be interesting to see what they would have in store for him if they decided to bring him back to the show.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I am interested to see. I do think the guy that plays Holden and the guy and Jermaine Rivers, who plays the actual Damien, I think they're a good addition to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Holden brings an extra layer when it comes to Audra's past and whatever he did to help her with Tucker. And then, keep Damien around to figure out what's going on with his companies. I'm wondering if they're going to find some kind of way to save Amy or not. And then also, see if they can build upon a connection with Lily on this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you?
And with the Holden thing, I guess we can see what Lily saw in Nate. because they kind of got a similar look as far as
You mean
complexion.
Audra saw Nate?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, my fault. Yeah, because I'm like, okay, I can see why maybe she went after Nate now because he probably reminded her of Holden looking at the pictures.
Right. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I'm looking forward to seeing how they unpack that because they have been dragging that out since the beginning of January, and we kind of got a few hints with Amy coming to town way back in November. And finally, this story is being unpacked, or at least we hope, because I didn't see anything on the previews for next week on anything with Damian or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe they'll squeeze something in there.
And I'm still not 100% convinced that this isn't a scam by him and his mother on Nate, and we find out she's involved with this. So I'm still not 100% convinced that's not the case either.
Well, you know what? You could have a point. I mean, she is adamant about not saving her life. And my thing is, what if your son say, okay, I want to rectify a relationship? Are you going to now try to save your life, or you just going to still give up? I don't know. So like it could be. Maybe they could flip it where this does become some type of scam or whatnot,
Yeah.
and it just affect everybody. Um Before we deal with the boring episode for Young and the Restless, which was today, did you have anything that stuck out to you earlier in the week?
No, not necessarily. The Victor Claire thing was like so. As far as the pushback and back and forth with that, and Summer and hers conversation, like starting to see a little bit more and more of Summer's jealousy of everything. But other than that, it wasn't really like you said. It was a pretty slow and mostly boring first couple of days.
Quick question. What do you think about the conversation between Summer and Claire at the coffee house?
I like the interaction. I like the dynamic. Summer, I just don't. Summer is a little interesting to me. Like you obviously can see that she's jealous. Even going back with the situation, even going back to when she was sitting with Kyle there at Crimson Lights, and she was like, "Oh, you're that serious?" As far as him having dinner with her and the grandfather, like she was like kind of like analyzing every little thing, and I don't know because even with her, like her and Chance aren't officially broken up yet, right? Like the last time I saw, he had met her for dinner, and he
Yeah.
was like still holding out hope that she would stay, like she was, like she wasn't completely done. So she's got him on the side while she's like trying to figure out what she's doing with Kyle. So I don't like the way. I really don't like how she's been moving, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't like how she's treating Chance either. I mean, he granted he got a busy schedule, and he's back at the police force and whatnot, but he's been really a good guy to her. Even though she treated him horribly as working that case over
Yeah.
Daniel, which I understand that's her brother and all, but he was just following the leads.
Yeah, he was doing everything by the book. He wasn't being mean to her brother or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I felt like she kind of overreacted on him on that. He was doing the best he
exactly.
could.
Exactly, and I'm surprised that he even stuck his neck out for a second chance with her after all of that. And then when he does, and they seem like to be on a good foot, now she back sniffing around Kyle again, and especially since she has Victor's blessing.
Yeah.
I didn't like Victor. See, this is where I call Victor disingenuous too, because he goes on this whole story, and then we're going to move on because I kind of talked about this stuff on Wednesday. But he went on a whole story with Nicholas and talking about how, I don't want my granddaughter to get involved with him. He's an abbot and he's bad and I don't like his daddy. And then Nicholas was like, okay, but you want my daughter to get back with him? You don't want her, Victoria's daughter to get with him, but you want my daughter to get with him. And I was wondering, I was like, yeah, how about that, Victor? And so he turns around and he says, well, they got history and we don't need broken families. And then Nicholas came back and he was like, okay, well, if that's true, why you ain't put Billy and Victoria back together? Or why you didn't put me and Sharon back together? And then he got mad and stormed off because
Mhm.
you trying to be disingenuous, you talking out two sides of your neck, and your son called you out. And I actually had to give Nick some kudos for those little checkmates that he did.
Yeah, Victor was absolutely being a hypocrite with that, and I had actually, I was talking about that in our group chat too as well. Like, because when he did all of that, and I'm like, yeah, what sense does that make? So if I'm Summer, I'm feeling like, wow, so Kyle is too good for Claire, but I'm not. Like
Right.
I'm not too good. So like, yeah, that would. I don't know if that's going to get back to her that he's pushing for that, but that would make you think, or it should. It should make you think. Why do you think Kyle was not good enough for Claire, but you think it's okay for him to be for me? So his intentions are very clear with that.
Right. And at the same time, I mean, he technically has no business bothered in any of that. But Claire, I mean, Summer wants to be right smack dab in the middle of that nonsense. And we, after we was just talking about the fact that she got a very handsome guy when it comes to Chance, and this is what you're doing. So I'm not feeling that storyline. I kind of like Summer and, I mean, Claire and Kyle
I do
together.
too. I really like Claire and Kyle.
Yeah, so for them to try to throw Summer back into that mix as the writing, I'm like, what are y'all doing? We didn't been there and done that one. The reason that they broke up in the first place is because she kept that secret that Phyllis was alive playing dead and was gonna leave
Mhm.
Diane in prison,
Yep.
and didn't say anything about it. And so, he's like, no, I'm not feeling that. So I don't know. And that whole thing about, oh, yes, I was there. And when I was with Kyle, Victor didn't try to stop me from being with Kyle. I'm like, really? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just over that storyline. I
Yeah,
really
pretty
am.
much. Yeah.
All right. So, the only other craziness that went on this week is on Y&R is Phyllis, and she is crushing hard, which obviously she had a dream about him in today's episode. But she's
Mhm.
obviously crushing hard on Billy, trying to protect him. She even had a whole conversation with Nicholas and defending Billy to Nick when they was at the coffee house. Did you see that part of the episode?
I believe so. Yeah.
What did you think about that? Because Nicholas was trying to say, "Oh, he's horrible," and his own mama didn't want to give him a company, and and Phyllis did call it out. This is the only time Phyllis was, to me, I agreed with her, because Jill listened to everybody else but her son when the company
Mhm.
was doing fine, and Lily was the one that was trying to undermine it, which is what Phyllis tried to tell Nicholas.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I want to know if you feel the same way. The Phillies thing to me is weird because the whole romantic aspect seems to have come out of nowhere. Um, it's like as far as her feelings for Billy.
Mm-hmm.
This man was approaching her and her son
Mm-hmm.
about potentially joining his company. Which it can be exciting, of course, especially her with her work situation. And, Daniel has been looking for something to do ever since he had that settlement
Mm-hmm.
with Lily. But, and I said it in the chat, so is that all it takes to get Phyllis offer her a job? Because, Billy kind of offered to bring her along, and then all of a sudden that just turned into romance on her end. So I don't know. I just feel like I don't know what I think they don't know what they want to do with Phyllis themselves. They keep putting her in situations where she doesn't necessarily make the best decisions. Her taking the job is perfectly fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't get why all of a sudden now she's, forcing herself into Billy's personal life, always commenting on Sally. I don't, I'm not really feeling it. Like, now I will say this in the dream today,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because these are two really good actors, especially Michelle. She's a fantastic actress. Even when they give her bad writing,
Mm-hmm.
she knocks it out of the park. They did have some chemistry because remember, The original Billy and Phyllis pairing happened when Michelle wasn't on the show. That was with Gina.
Right.
We haven't seen Michelle's Phyllis with Billy yet.
Right.
And her and Jason did have chemistry. I will say that. Her and Jason Thompson had some chemistry. Did you see the chemistry between them today? Even though it was a
I
dream,
did
like the acting.
somewhat. I did
Yeah.
because like I said, the Jason Thompson and Gina Tognani definitely knocked it out the park when they were together. Especially that scene on the kitchen island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was that her or was that Nicholas? I don't know. But even when she was in scenes, Gina with Jason Thompson, they were hot
Mm-hmm.
together. They really
Yeah.
were. And now we got Jason Thompson and Michelle Stafford back. I see it there,
Yeah.
but
It-
I'm not 100% sold. Now I will tell you, it's not out of nowhere because they have been when they put the 2025 spoilers out for YNR.
Mhm.
Um, what's the guy named the writer? He had stated that he was gonna throw those three in a triangle. So I knew it was coming. I didn't know
Okay.
how it was gonna come. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Okay. So I can see it too. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, if you go by the way things was breaking down, Sally's starting to look like she has some concerns. So, just going off what it looks like now, it looks like they are gonna have him and Phyllis hook up. It looks like.
I guess so, but the problem is it gonna affect the business? That's Daniel's fear of it all. He want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that this doesn't affect, the new business. And I agree. I mean, it's one thing for everybody else to doubt you in business because a company ran by both Billy Abbott and Phyllis Summers. That's going to be, and that's why Nicholas was saying what he was saying. So if you're trying to have a fresh start, you got to come correct. And her having this crush. Plus, we also saw Billy sneak away to go after Chancellor. Did you see him make that phone call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, he's being wrong by not telling Phyllis the truth because Phyllis told him, if you're going to try to go after Chancellor or the Newmans, I'm not in this. I'm out. And he's like, nope, it has nothing to do with that, blah, 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 blah. And what did he do? He lied and he went on while he's out in Paris. Sally is sleeping. He's on the phone trying to get information and the inside, intel on Chancellor. So this is a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Now, do you think that could be him just trying to potentially beat them on one specific deal? Or do you think this is him trying to destroy them?
I think it's coming after Nikki and Chancellor because I mean it's one thing if you want to find out if they're trying to get the scoop on a new story or something, right? Then that's free
Mhm.
game. There's nothing, nefarious
And that's
about that.
gamesmanship at that point.
Right.
If you're
It's
just
it's
something to
just
that.
you who gonna get to the story first, right? But
Yeah.
he said he wants to know everything that's going on in Chancellor. So it could be two ways. It could be that and finding weaknesses to try to destroy the companies. But either way, Phyllis had already told him she wants no part of that. And Daniel was reluctant about even coming on board for that one of those reasons as well.
Well, Phyllis has a little, kind of has a little something too because she doesn't want him going after Chancellor, but it seems like she would be completely down for him to try to go after Victor because she has her own
But she
little
said
vendetta against
both.
Victor too.
Well,
Did she?
she said both. She did not want to
Okay.
be a part of any of that. She wanted something fresh, something new, and she knew that if that was the case, Daniel wouldn't have come aboard. And so that's the
Now,
other reason why she wanted to make sure that that Billy was on the up and up with his, where we going with this company because Daniel, she want her son over there.
Now, in her dream, maybe I misheard it, but in her dream today, it seemed like she was okay with him going after Victor. Did I read that wrong?
Well, maybe subconsciously because that's the purpose of her dream, and she don't really date Billy, but in her
Mhm.
dreams, maybe the thought is there.
Okay,
So
because that was about making him happy and landing him. So she was probably saying what he wanted to hear, I guess, in that dream.
exactly. Now
Okay.
the thing is that what her conscious mind says and what her subconscious mind intention is, that's going to be interesting because obviously they showed us that for a reason. So was she truly being honest about not going after Chancellor, or was she doing it, or Chancellor Newman, or was she saying that because she just want Daniel? Because Daniel ain't gonna do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, let me throw something out. It's kind of connected, but at the same time separate. But let me throw this at you because this was something I was thinking about last week, as we kind of found out that they were going to be doing this whole kind of dance, triangle dance with Billy, Sally, and Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.
If Phyllis ends up landing Billy, if she ends up taking Billy away from Sally, could you potentially see Sally hooking up with Daniel?
I can't see that one.
Because when you think about it, that's more of her age range,
I
her and
mean, I
Daniel.
guess. I mean, anything
And
is
then,
possible. Yeah.
because I know Bree wanted to see him get with Tessa, but I don't think they're breaking up Tessa and Mariah.
Yeah.
So, they got the kid. They want to, they're, so I don't know if they'll break them up. But Sally, now, once again, this would be lazy in a way because this would be the second straight relationship in a row where Sally gets cheated on or dumped,
Mm-hmm.
and then she ends up getting like kind of like a rebound situation. But I had been considering that because her and Daniel are probably around this. I think they're around the same age, or at least they look like it. And he's obviously devastated. She would be single, and I can see that vibing as far as it being a fit aesthetically. So I'm wondering if they would do that. And then because her and Phyllis had a great rivalry when she first showed up, and it's kind of like that's because she was like always going up against Summer. So Phyllis is big bad protective mother.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they're kind of kicking it up again, and that's what I was thinking from that aspect. She would really hate her again if she started dating her son. Like that would kick in that whole Phyllis versus Sally rivalry again. Because if she steals her man and then she goes with her son, I can see that would be like a good reason for them to hate each other again. And those two together hating each other was great on the show.
The only problem I have with that whole thing is that once again, Sally has bounced. So, I mean, she went from Adam to Nicholas to Adam to Billy. And now,
Mm-hmm.
if they do this route and Billy ends up with Phyllis, now she's bouncing again. And that's why myself and Bree, and I think maybe even you, we talked about this, and Keish, that they need to put Sally back on bold because they can't find nothing for her. She can't keep a relationship. She is trying to figure out her career. I mean, yes, she's going to Paris. What does she go to Paris for? I mean, has it got something to do with Marchetti? We really don't know, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's no solid ground. Like, we know the storylines that Audra is ingratiated in, right? We
Mm-hmm.
knew that she was in it with Tucker. We knew that she was, doing what she was doing with Nate and Kyle. And then now we got a new storyline with her and Holden. But Sally has just been all over the place. And that's the issue. Because, I mean, they barely been together. And now you're going to put her with Daniel. It's just like, I ain't feeling it. So,
The only thing I would say to that is that's always been true with Sally, though. She's always been a bouncer. Even when she was on Bold, she had the crush on Liam. She went from Liam to was she with Thomas?
yeah, she was with Thomas. But the backstory to her is that she owned Spectra Fashions.
True, true.
She
But I
don't
like
have anything over here.
she does it. Um, But as far as relationships goes, well, even work too. But she's bounced jobs, she's bounced between men. So that part is just true to the Sally character. She's like forever. She's kind of like Carter in a sense. They're forever trying to find, a relationship that's actually gonna, be stable for them and that they can stay in. But they just always seem unlucky in love. And then as far as Spectra goes, matter of fact, maybe you can tell me, is Spectra even still a thing?
I don't think so. And that was
Yeah,
the reason
so
why they
even if she
brought
came
her.
back to Bone, she wouldn't even have Spectra.
Right,
They would, unless they wrote in that she started it all over again.
but that's the thing. The reason that, I mean, she is the namesake of the OG Sally Spectra.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you leave her in that realm? Even if she brought the fashion house to be a subsidiary of Marchetti or something. I mean, why would you bring Sally Spectra 2.0 back without where she originated from? It just doesn't make sense to me. We know Steffi is Stephanie's namesake. We know what Bill Spencer is the original Bill Spencer, and he continued the legacy, just like Steffi is continuing her grandparents' legacy. Why wouldn't you do that with Sally Spectra? It just doesn't make sense. And then you send her over to Genoa City, where she has no foundation to any solid storyline except trying to figure out relationships. That's it.
True. Although the Bill thing is kind of weird, right? Because they've been like kind of rewriting that a little bit to almost where, did he know his father or not? But
but the fact of the matter is that they attached him to the Spencer legacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, and he stayed there.
How would you feel? And you kind of already, I was actually just about to ask you, and you kind of already threw it out there. But how would you feel if they actually let Sally what if they just let her bring Spectra over to YNR?
I would be okay with that because it now gives us something to work with. We've been saying the same thing about bringing Phyllis back. They gave her the Grand Phoenix, and she was running that hotel, and then you have her sell the hotel only to go after Diane to work over at Jabot, and Jack still ended up with Diane, and she's been out of a job all this time.
Yeah, Phyllis been taking L's for a while.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of L's.
I kind of want this thing to work with her and Billy, but I don't know, with the way that they made this dream look, that maybe she'll help him take down Newman, and then Billy is not being honest out the gate about his intentions with the company. This can blow up in their face, and it sucks. So
now, see, I gotta mention this to you because I think this would be amazing if this is true, and I wonder if you've heard it. I don't know if you can still see it in the chat. Somebody said they heard a rumor that Gina was coming back to YNR to play Sally's mother.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that would be nice.
That would be awesome, though, because we both know Gina Tognoni is a awesome actress. Mm-hmm. And if you had her coming in as Sally's mother and she had problems with Phyllis, to see the previous two Phyllises going at each other, that would be wild if they did that.
Right.
I would love to see that.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see if that's the case. But, yeah, I'm going to move on to Bold. But I will tell you that today's episode was a huge disappointment. Yes, I guess they're giving us maybe what they might be trying to work on. Obviously, they got the triangle with Billy, Phyllis, and Sally. Are y'all going to put Sharon and Nicholas back together for the 19,000th time? I don't know. And then I know you're a fan of Chelsea and Adam. Am I correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do this, do it right this time. Last time that girl tried to set him up for murder. So, it's like, do you want to go back down that route? I know y'all got a kid and whatnot involved, and she didn't went through therapy and whatnot. So, I don't know. I guess.
I will say this, and I've always loved Chelsea and Adam. From the very start, from when Michael Muni was playing him, to now. Like, it's just something about those two characters for me. Like, the fact that he helped her get her GED, and like their history. I love their history, and I've always loved them. I feel like, you know how we always say Adam is the true like next Victor. Like he's more like Victor than anybody else. Even though Victoria likes to think she is, it's really Adam. And I always felt like Chelsea is Adam's Nikki. Like no matter what they go through, I think they're always going to be endgame. To me, Chelsea and Adam are endgame. So that's why I'm happy to see them getting back together. And
I guess you and Victor agree then.
Yeah, on that we do. I don't really agree with Victor on anything else, but I will agree with him on that. And then earlier you were saying, do you think you were wondering were these dreams preludes? I actually think they were. I think we're going to see some version of these three couples getting together like before the end of 2025. I think all three will, these pairings that we saw in the dreams will probably be a couple on the show.
Yeah. Well, we will see. We will see. All right. Can you tell me how many people we got in the chat, Jay?
It says 99 watching.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, cool. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you follow on the other platforms, IG, Facebook, TikTok. Also there's a blog as well. That's where I normally put the next week's spoilers and threads. Yeah, so those are some of the other places that you can find us. And Bold didn't get good until the end of this week. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I thought today episode, I was like, dang, is it over? Because, it's been
It was, I would say today it was fire.
It was fire
I would say
today.
Today's episode was probably the best episode of both shows all week.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree. They knocked it out of the park if they wanted to create a cliffhanger for today or for this week. We did have Daphne and Steffy kind of shift their path because originally it was about seduction, but however they decided to let Carter come to his senses. Now, I got to call out the spoilers because for Thursday, February 13th, there was a spoiler that said that Brooke was going to walk in on a conversation between Steffy and Daphne. That did not happen. Or at least in the United States. So I don't know if there's some bonus clips out there somewhere, but that did not happen here. We saw Brooke walk in on Daphne and Carter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, really, right? Because everybody was talking about that. Oh, yeah, they're going to get busted and whatnot. And is Brooke going to say something or is she not going to say something? It never happened. She walked in on Carter and Daphne. So I don't know what that was about. Was it really to throw us off, or was it a typo, or what?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. I don't know if this was purposely put out there or if somebody has a typo. But either way, that they can't be having that. Like, come on now, to just blatantly falsify spoilers is getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, I mean, I get it if you want to be cryptic. They could have said, well, Brooke walks into a very interesting conversation. Then we'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. She walked in on Carter and Daphne. But it was completely wrong. And I know myself and some of the other bloggers have reported like, oh, my God, what is Brooke going to do if she overhears, Steffy and
hey, Bree.
Huh? Hey, Bree, girl. What is Brooke gonna do if she walks in and of course here's Steffy and Daphne talking, and it was nothing like that. And in all actuality, she heard the part about his conscience and whether he's doing the right thing, and then Brooke piggybacked off of Daphne.
I will say this though. I'm leaning to more that the fake spoilers were put out there on purpose. Only because when Brooke came to the office, she had like a look of suspicion in her face. When it came to Steffy, and then when she saw the conversation with Carter and Daphne, it's obviously she's agreeing because she's trying to do the same thing, but she also had a look on her face like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do too, but I'm suspicious of why you're doing it.
Right.
That's kind of like the look she had on her face, like, okay, like, why are you doing this? And it's making me think that she's starting to have the wheels in her head that Daphne baby may be working with Steffi. So I don't know if next week we'll see her catch them, or if maybe we'll just see her putting stuff together. But I thought the look on her face watching Daphne saying what she was saying to Carter was very telling, because I think Brooke may be the one that puts it together that Daphne and Steffi is working together.
Yeah, well, they're technically look like they scrapped that plan. So, I mean, obviously it's going to come out that they know each other, but I think the original plan that they was trying to keep a secret with the seduction thing, I think the writers did they pivoted. They pivoted hard. And so I think with what we saw today, with Hope being pissed off and walking out on this man, and Carter looking like he realized that this woman didn't use me just to get what she wanted. Maybe they're going to just circumvent that and just have Daphne and Carter come together organically.
Perhaps. I will say, man, Annika killed it today.
Yes, she did.
Hope starting to show like these true colors. I'm really interested, like, where is she going? Where is her character going? Because the way she flipped on him,
yeah,
and like when I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready to get to that part yet, so I don't want to say too much. But I can't wait to
most of everything, because I mean, the rest of the week was about Poppy trying to keep that secret and tell Shan not to tell, and Bill, trying to keep Luna quiet, and he had the conversation with Poppy, which to me is just I don't even understand why Bill won't tell. And I even said this on Wednesday. Why Bill? How is this going to work? I mean, y'all have a 40-year age difference. I mean, at some point,
I said, oof.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, Bill, what are you going to do? You're going to lock her up in the house when you're well gone into the universe somewhere? Because, I mean, I would think she got a life sentence, right? Which means in about, yeah. I mean, so how is she supposed to stay hidden for the next forever? I don't understand that part. Now,
that's what makes this whole thing preposterous. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
The fact that she's unalived 2 men, you shouldn't even be qualified to be put on house arrest. So it just makes this whole thing preposterous to begin with.
Exactly. It makes zero sense to me. I mean, and then she can't talk to nobody and all this kind of stuff. I mean, even people in prison get a right to a phone call. But because you say she can't talk to nobody, and it's not because she can't, it's because of him. He don't want nobody to know that he's been keeping this girl over there. So it ain't got nothing to do with her. It's about him being selfish and want to keep that a secret.
Although I will say this, if I was in prison and they told me, okay, we'll put you on house arrest, but you can't talk to nobody or make no phone calls, I'd say, deal. Get me out of here.
Right. I mean, granted, but it's just, I get it. But you having no contact, your family is going to come looking for you. People that normally visit you, your mom, Finn was looking for. He had to know that somebody was going to come looking for that girl.
Hey, give me a PlayStation, Netflix. I don't need to talk to nobody. I'll be perfectly fine with my house arrest instead of being behind the cell. But I get what you said. But she needs to think about, she shouldn't be tripping too much, because it could be a lot worse for her.
I mean, it could be, but that I just don't like that part of the storyline. I mean, you could have left her in prison and had Finn and Poppy figure this thing out versus having her sit over at Bill's house while they trauma bond over their mothers for the last month. And
you got that man over there not even telling the mother. I have never seen anything like that. A mother, she should be able to be told where she is. So that guy, I wonder if anything. I mean, he's a minuscule character, so we'll probably won't even see it. But the fact that he's obviously paying that man off.
Right.
So whenever he keeps telling her, I can't tell you that makes no sense. So I want to know how she's going to get exposed.
Well, here's the
Because you know it's
thing.
going to happen.
I'm curious because we saw the previews. Remy is over there. How did he even get
Uh-huh.
in the house?
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Because
he's
I know
supposed
they're
to
not going
have
to try to say,
security. Anybody, if
uh-huh.
Remy could get in there, who's to say anybody else could get up in there?
And he wasn't even there in a sneaky way. He was casually looking at the pictures.
Exactly.
So is he trying to? Are they trying to say that he's there to apologize? That he wants to apologize to Bill's son?
I have no idea. That
Yeah.
whole thing is weird to me. I'm like, okay, where we going with this? But I'm interested though. But we got to talk about the fact that Brooke has been laying it on thick. She
Mhm.
wants Ridge back so bad, and she figures everything will go back to normal if she can talk Carter into letting go this coup. Because that's what
Mhm.
this is about. I have a feeling that if Brooke and Ridge were not an issue and they were still together, and Ridge was happy with it or he was doing this thing, I don't know if she would be pushing so hard. She ain't thinking about that. She like, listen, you need to fix this because I want my man back.
Exactly. I was just about to say that you said it a little bit more tactfully than what I would have said. But she just want Ridge stick. That's what this is all about. It's been too long since she had it, and she's tired of waiting. So she
Right,
is trying to do anything she can to get this man his company back, thinking that's going to get him back in her bed.
right,
That's what it's
exactly.
all about for her.
Exactly. Bree said Remy was supposed to be in jail. He rolled the dice 3 times and got out of Monopoly jail. That
Yes,
is
he
she's
did.
funny. She's so
We
funny.
are, over there in their LA,
Right.
because in Bo's LA you can commit all kinds of crimes and not have to pay any kind of circumstances for it.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but I mean, Hope is in her villain era. I mean, God.
Yes.
She was walking around because she told Steffi this week, you need to pretty much get over it. This is how things are going to be. So shut your trap. And she looking at her like, look, you don't care about my at least not me, but my dad and my granddad. Hope don't care about none of that.
She don't. Hope is looking out for her, herself, and I. Like that, she really showed her true colors today. Like, because I was saying in the chat, even Katie looked uncomfortable
Everybody in
today.
that room look uncomfortable.
Yes.
And the fact that she tried to give all the credit to Carter for that jewelry line when Eric and Ridge signed off on the release of it before they got kicked to the curb. So they got their names and stamps of approval on that thing. And she's like, yeah, but Carter, this was all about you. And I'm like, wow.
Well, I will say Carter is the one that came up with the idea to bring it back.
Well, he
And then
did, but originally,
they had to
right.
officially sign off on it. So I give him credit for that. That it was his idea to, hey, we should bring this back, and then he had to get their okay on it.
Right, but the thing is that she wanted to discount them, period.
Yeah, that was wrong. Yes,
And that's why everybody in that room was looking at her like, okay.
Mhm.
Even, Electra and them,
Yeah,
she
even
got
Electra looked like she had some looks of guilt. The only people
Katie.
that smiling was the catering people. The people that had the little black shirts, they was up there clapping, but everybody else looked like they was all demoralized.
Yeah, well, what did Bree say? Bree say Hope and Will were the only ones happy today. I bet.
I think Will, he got too much of his real life daddy's character in him.
I
He got a little
know.
stiffish.
You see how
He's
he
a little too.
moved? How he
Yeah.
moved? He moved just like his dad, Josh. I
He got
said,
a little bit of Nick's simpish in his character because my goodness.
mm-hmm. But it really got dramatic when
Yes.
Carter told Hope, we could. What did he say?
When he
Leave
said
on.
we can leave on top.
Yeah, something like that. I was trying to
We
make
can
sure
leave
I
on
said it
top.
correctly.
And then she was like, what do you mean? We can
Mm-hmm.
leave on top. She already knew what it meant. She was just trying to she was just trying to get confirmation. And then when he told her how he felt, and that I feel like a traitor. And she was doing everything she can to try to bring him back, like almost like fishing. She was trying to reel him back in, and he was like kind of staying where he was at. And then when he said maybe we should apologize, she flipped that switch on him. Like I was like, wow, like I have never seen Hope like that before. When she yelled and was like swinging her up and down and say, "You promised me," I was like, bro, she is really crashing out right now. What did you
Wait a
think of
minute.
her?
No, wait, Jay. She wasn't only crashing out. She was sliding down the wall too.
I was really impressed with her acting, with Anika's acting. But my goodness, Hope went on a rampage right there when she yelled at him and was screaming. Like you got the perfect screenshot of it. The picture in the what is that? The third row to the left. When she was doing all that screaming and he was looking, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That was really something. That was really something.
Bree dropped it and I pinned it to the comments. Carter finally realized that Hope never loved him. She loved him for what he did. And I mean, it was, that man had a beautiful, he took out that box with that big heart-shaped crystal.
Yeah, that thing was gorgeous.
That thing was gorgeous. And she was like, I ain't got time for that. I'm
like,
wow.
Now is not the time for this. I was like, wow, bro.
Yeah, and then the man turned around, slammed it on the desk, and cut his hand up.
Yeah, great acting by him, because that could have been a moment that didn't quite work, but I thought he gave it just enough. Because I thought he was gonna throw it, and then I was gonna throw it.
Yeah, they killed that scene. They killed that scene. I mean, both of them, Annika and Lawrence, they killed that scene. And I mean, he was heartbroken because he realized that everything that Bridge said, a couple months ago.
See.
What?
And to have Ridge walk through that door with that all black on, I was like, oh no, that was wild how they had that.
And then Ridge said it's heavy as the head that wears the crown.
Yep. Oh my God, that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Yes, it was. Today was an excellent episode. 10 out of 10. I mean, they knocked it out the park. Everything was just, but I mean, I don't feel sorry for Carter because of the fact that and I remember it was one of the September episodes. She was in there fantasizing about Finn when he walked up in there thinking about her under her underwear. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden she realized, oh, attention? Okay, let's roll with you. She ain't care about that man. She said, I love you too fast. She couldn't even tell Thomas that. And you know she had feelings for Thomas. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe she used him too as a deal.
Well, yeah, the way she moving, we got to question everything now.
Yeah.
And I will say it was a beautiful touch going in the flashback scenes that they did, specifically when he first got the promotion from just being a lawyer to the COO. Mm-hmm. Those were great moments to throw in there, given everything else that was going around with like Taylor saying, hey, saying this week, that guy is still in there. You know, we just got to appeal to him. And then like showing him having the flashbacks, his guilt, flashing back when when Brooke was talking to him, and then him flashing back to when he got hired as CEO. Those were really nice touches to bring the emotional effect of the episode.
I agree. Yeah, they knocked it out the park. I didn't know what to expect today. They said that it was going to be a explosive CEO boardroom, drama. And yeah, she was like, apologize. I'm not doing that. She was like, I'm not doing none of that. And then when he started doubting himself, she was like, no, stop. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are you talking to?
She was like trying her best to convince him to get off of that road.
Well, you know what? He got a bitter taste of what really was going on. That's crazy. And the thing is, either she's going to end up getting, in my opinion, I don't know what Steffi's going to do after she find out that Luna, is Finn's daughter. But unless, because where is she going to go from here? If Ridge and Eric get the company back, do you actually think that they're going to let Hope stay there?
Oh, hell no.
So where does she go from here?
I don't know, because because what I had originally thought was, until I saw how she acted today, that eventually they would get their company back either way. Either Carter would give it back to them or they would find a way to get it back. They obviously would probably kick them both out because I don't see Rich forgiving Carter, at least not right away. And then I was thinking maybe Carter would start his own with Hope. But now that it looks like they might break up,
Oh yeah, but I don't see that happening. Especially the way she dismissed that man after he put his heart and effort into that gift, and she was like, "Ain't nobody got time for that," and walked out on him.
Unless she comes back and says she was sorry, and then he gets back to simple mode and forgives her, and they stay together. Then maybe, listen, but if they don't, I don't see her. Yeah,
Jay, if he go back to that girl after everything that happened, and he need a simp intervention, because that should tell you everything right there.
But all she got to do is come back. I love you. I'm so sorry. I was just so, upset. Because technically she hasn't officially broken up with him. She just walked. They had a disagreement and she walked out. And Carter has been moving very simpish, so I can see him potentially forgiving her. So I wouldn't say it's quite over quite yet. He's seen a little bit of this side of her, but I don't know if he's completely given up on her yet.
Bree said they both deserve to get kicked out. Brooke too, banned from the building, Pam's lemon bars and all of it. Listen, the thing is that they're making Carter to be out the victim. So, especially with Hope being so polarizing in this moment. Yeah. And, I mean, for her to be like, no, I don't want that. We ain't doing that. I'm not apologizing to nobody. Everything they did to me. Girl, please, your line was failing. And
that's another thing she has said. After everything they done to me, I'm like, what?
Your line was failing. And for the whole year of 2024, they kept that line going, against their best thought process. Even Carter himself said that the line was underperforming. So all this making it personal and all this, you did your due diligence in getting under this man's skin and in his pants, giving him the box, so therefore you can get him igmatized.
Yep.
And so he decided to go and do a whole coup for you because you wanted what you wanted.
She get it from her mama, I guess, because she definitely had that man hypnotized under a spell.
Yeah. Well, look like it's about to fall over. And then we see next week that Hope is trying to talk her mama into stopping Bridge and Steffy from taking the company back. It's like
this girl is delusional. Y'all, this is the true definition. Will y'all be seeing Delulu? She really is Delulu right now.
This is what you would see as being a narcissist. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
It's all about her, and she whining and crying because she didn't get her way. You went through a whole lie with this man. You slept with him. You boosted his ego because you used him as a way to get Steffi out the way and run this company. Your ego is that big. And the moment this man have regret and say, listen, we didn't do the right thing. I tricked these people. She was like, okay, Ann, in so many words. So the next time Brooke go around talking about, well, she made a mistake. It was all Carter's decision. Well, yeah, he made a decision, but your daughter was the force behind that.
The puppeteer.
Exactly. So she don't need to say anything about, oh, she made a mistake and she wasn't thinking. Yeah, okay. That girl knew exactly what she was doing.
When I look at that picture of her whining on the left, I could just hear Bree mocking her, going, wah, me. I could just see Bree say that about her.
I agree. I agree. And that's what she get. She couldn't have thought that a man that had character, or the way that he was set up to have character, was going to continue on the long run every time he see Eric and Stephanie's pictures and all this old kind of stuff. Go start your own company, Hope. Take your line and go somewhere else and start your own company. Go ask your daddy. Maybe you can set up a shop over in his building.
She'll be lucky to take them fashions of hers and sell it at a flea market when this is all said and done.
Oh man.
And Bree had a great comment. She said Hope made Thomas wait a whole year before she said I love you. But the second she saw that Carter could do something for her, she was singing I love you like a canary in less than a month.
Yep. Jenna said take it to the Goodwill. Jenna, you crazy. She also said she can go sling some pizza with Sheila. Do something.
Hey, that's we was talking about legacies, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we said her legacy was prison and pizza.
Yep. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. You got anything else?
No, I think I'm good, man. It was today, like I said, Friday was a really great episode. They left us wanting more. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see what happens next week. And I will say, with the performances specifically from Anika and Lawrence today, I'm even more hyped to see where this is going.
Yeah, me too. What would you flip if you had to flip a script with Y&R?
With Y&R? Mm-hmm. I would have at least made one of those dream scenarios real.
Okay.
Like to give us 3 dreams. Mm-hmm. Like we could have, I'm not saying you could have had the couples get together today, but if you would have had at least one of those conversations and been a real. Because I actually thought when Sally came in, I actually thought he was done dreaming and that part was real. And Adam was going to actually have to make a decision between Chelsea and Sally.
Gotcha.
That would have been interesting.
Gotcha. I would have flipped the whole thing when Damian and Lily ran together. I would have made that a little bit like, hey, him stopping him and like, hey, have a drink at the bar with her or something instead of him walk out. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more. I wanted
maybe have him apologize for bumping into her and offering to buy her a drink. Yeah, something like that.
I wanted a little bit more from that scene. Yeah. All right, what you got? What would you flip on Bold?
The thing I would have flipped on Bold was that spoiler was real, and that we actually did see Brooke catch Daphne and Steffy, and I would have wanted to see what she would have done with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because today's episode was so good.
It was good. Yeah.
So what exactly could I mean, I want this whole thing with Luna to come out, but I don't know. That's a tough one to me. But I'll go with what you got. They should have made that spoiler correct. Who would you have take seats on Young and the Restless?
Young and the Restless, I would probably say Summer. Because of the way she's moving and acting all jealous when Kyle hasn't shown any interest and wanted to get back with her anyway. Yeah. So how you gonna be jealous over something that's not yours and something that doesn't want you? So I would say Summer.
Yeah, well, I would flip the production team for that whole dream sequence. I mean, flip. And had them take several seats on putting this dream sequence out. That was horrible. And I might as well throw Victor in the seat because he's doing too much. That dude is still messing with folks after having a bullet in his belly.
Yeah.
Go sit down somewhere. Be quiet.
Go drink you some apple juice and heal up.
Right. Who you got taking seats on Bold?
Ooh.
Hope. Hope gotta go sit down and get her head on.
I want to say Hope, but the damn performance was so good.
Yeah, but look what she did to that man.
True. Yeah, I will say Hope. I'll say Hope.
I mean, she could at least accept the gift. She was so hungry and power hungry with this thing. She wasn't thinking about Carter, and then the man hurt his own hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching the reruns either, Jenna.
Oh yeah, me neither. Are we doing stars and pickles? Okay.
I just paused because I was reading Jenna's comment.
Yes, I agree with her. I saw that as well. I'm not watching that next week.
What about for your star of the week for Y&R?
Star of the week on Y&R. I'll give it to Damian.
Yeah, I give it to Damian and
Learning the
Holden.
news. Yeah,
Yeah.
learning the news, his reaction. I thought it was a perfect balance of. I can see why he would react like that, even though it was hard to see him treat his mother like that. Even
Hmm.
I know she lied and all that stuff, but your mother tell you she's about to lose her life.
Right.
That was kind of tough.
Bree.
But his performance though, I give him the star of the week.
Bree said her flip was Ridge overhearing Hope crash out and then walk in with both Hope and Carter crying. Oh yeah, that would have been that would have been good.
And then like have Hope look at him as she walks out of the room crying. Yeah, that could have been a nice touch.
Right. Okay, so my star of the week on Bold, I got to give it to Lawrence and Annika.
That's the two I'm going with too. That last what was that like? Be that last 5 minutes or so when they kicked that thing into overdrive. Yeah, that was some great acting.
Yep. Yep. Um. Okay, pickle of the week on YNR.
Victor.
I agree. And then I gotta say Phyllis blowing up Billy's phone.
Yeah, when
I'm
you
like,
knew he was there with his girl.
right. Go sit down, girl. That you look real. She was chasing after Danny last year. Now you trying to chase after Billy. Unavailable men.
Yes.
And then who you got as a pickle on Bold?
I think I have to give that to Hope. She's got to be a double award winner.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Bill.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a
because
good one
Bill
too.
got on my nerves with that whole thing with this situation with Luna and not telling her mama where she at and all this kind of stuff. Like, dude, you can't keep her in there forever. Come on.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and change minds. I'm gonna change minds to Poppy.
Oh, okay.
Sitting there, obviously lying and coming up with the I was trying to protect you and I didn't know for sure. She knew. That
Yeah.
woman knew. And still calling it that beautiful night we shared.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bree said her pickle was Audra.
What Audra do? Oh, just the fact that we found out she has a history with that man.
And
Okay.
she said her pickle on Bowl was Brooke with all that darn whining. Was Brooke whining? Well, she whining about
Hope,
Ridge.
Girl, the whining Hope did in today's episode alone was enough to give her the pickle. If you're gonna give it for whining.
All right, do we got a simp of the week?
Can't give it to Carter because he actually said something that Hope didn't want to hear today. So I don't know if we can give it to him.
I'm gonna give it to Phyllis because she was super thirsty over Billy.
I'm gonna give it to Will.
Will, okay, gotcha. All right, well, we got through it, Jay. I appreciate it. I wanted to get him some content because I knew we were not gonna do a show later tonight. So I appreciate you so much for coming in and helping me. Helping a sister out.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and then Bree jumped in the chat. Thank all of the soapies for coming in, and we should get back to regulars because hopefully it won't be as busy this week as it was. I mean, next week as it was this week. So then I can get back to. I know a lot of y'all was like, "Can we go back to doing the live chats?" Yeah, that's only because I didn't do any recap. So yeah, because first of all I was bored. Young and the Restless had me bored most of the week. And then Bold was in until today. So, I guess it didn't really bother me to do, 2 live chats this week. So, yeah, from what I understand, there are new episodes next week, but then they're going to follow the new episodes with old ones. So, usually we get prices right here from 1 to 2. So I think what's happening is that they're going to give us our regularly scheduled ones based on the previews we saw, and then after that Then it goes into the reruns because the following week we start the gates.
Okay, I might have to watch that preview again because when I first saw the preview at the end of today's bold, they made it sound like all of next week because they said all next week we're showing you classic episodes or
Yeah,
something
but
like
they
that.
said
They
they
made it
gave a
seem like it was
time.
going to be in place.
Right, so they gave a time that it was in place. So, from what I understand, it's going to come out after the new episodes because they're just
Okay.
trying to give us a bridge before the next week, so I guess, or whatever. Because there's
Okay.
nothing in that time slot right now except the talk ended in the beginning of January. So, right now, Price is Right here. I don't know about other locations. But
Yeah.
Price is Right has been the filler into the gate start.
Yeah, I figured it had something to do with getting people adjusted for the timing for the gate. So, do we already know like what the new daytime schedule is going to be
So the
when
gates
gates
are going to come
appears?
on at 1 o'clock here.
Okay, 1 o'clock Central, 2 Eastern.
Right. Well, it's different times across the country, but I know where we are, Jay. We're in the
Yeah.
same area, geographical area. So for us, it'll come on at 1 o'clock.
Okay, so is that gonna be? Would that be second or that or will that be
Bold
the
is
last show of the three?
sandwiched. Bold is sandwiched in the middle. So Y&R is 11:30 to 12:30. Bold is
Right.
12:30 to 1, and then the gates is 1 to 2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, so
we'll
why
have
not and Bold are still the same?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't change. It's just that they taken up the slot that the talk had.
Okay. Okay.
So
And that's a smart move for them because that used to be the Days of Our Lives slot when they were still on TV. And then GH is at 2. And I don't know if you want to be a new soap trying to go up against GH. So that's a smart move for them to come on at 1.
yep. So, I mean, Jenna, I don't know how your TV lineup is, but I know that's how it's supposed to be here in Illinois or northeastern Illinois. Okay, so you guys might want to check your local programming, but I know
Yeah.
that's
And
how
you
it's
got
going
a
to be
week.
here.
Yeah. And y'all got a week before we actually get to the gates. So yeah, I would say like start looking that up next week. What time each show will be coming on in your time zone, so y'all don't miss anything.
Right. So, all right, you guys, have an amazing Valentine's Day, and don't eat too much cake, candy, chocolate. Don't like somebody who was at Belinda asked me on Wednesday, Jay, telling me not to break the mattress. And so, I'm not playing.
Girl, trust me, T got a long way to go before that's even a possibility.
You know what? Shut up. Yeah, and I know some of you guys are doing Galentine's. You're doing Valentine's with the kids, your significant other. So enjoy the day. I know Philadelphia had their parade today. So hopefully your Philadelphia fans enjoyed the Super Bowl winners. So congrats to you guys. And until then, we will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.